8 new head coaches.
And then faces that we're used to seeing on certain teams that have kind of switched.
So a foul, they wanted the travel call in the bonus though that stops the clock and sends Ryan Howard to the free throw line for 2.
And Ryan Howard gets the ball. She's double covered right here. They know who they want to get the ball into, and yes, that is absolutely a foul. Natasha Howard gets her across the arm. And remember, Howard iced the game with those 2 free throws last game on Thursday.
So they'll have to change some things underneath, and they do. At first, they gave the foul to Aaliyah Boston, who was nowhere near the action. So Natasha Howard will get her 4th foul. Aaliyah Boston with 4. Caitlin Clark out of the game with 5. See more of that offense-defense from Caitlin Clark as Ryan Howard can tie it up. Back iron. And finds the hands of Natasha Howard, who calls the timeout.
And listen, if I'm Atlanta and you get another shot at it going down the offensive end, who did you say have 5 fouls? Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull. I'm going at both of them to try to get them out of this game.
So we've seen more of the offense-defense from them, though, to prevent that from happening, and they can, especially Caitlin Clark, who just checks into the ball game. So I feel like Steph White is going to try and protect her a little bit.
Yeah.
If this does go into overtime, she'll
Probably.
lead her.
I'm still going at them if I'm Atlanta, though. I'm searching for that. One of them's going to be, if you have Hull and Clark out there, I'm going at one of the 2.
Yes. There's 1 timeout for both sides. Ryan Howard missing the free throw, her first miss from the charity stripe tonight. Atlanta was once shooting 73% from the free throw line. They are now 78%, 18 for 23.
One thing that stood out to me, Angel, in this game and the last game is the Fever winning the paint points. Right now, they've got 44 points in the paint compared to 20 for Atlanta. So that, to me, tells me that they've been more intentional getting into the paint.
And not settling, to your point, because it has not been their night from outside, where they're just 30% from distance, and it took some time to get there because in the second half, they started to drop a few in.
Kelsey Mitchell just knocked hers down a few minutes ago, and Caitlin Clark is 0 for 5 from the floor. But I'll tell you this, if Indiana comes out with this game, those scores won't matter. It won't matter that she's 0 for 5. I'm pretty sure she just wants to win.
They don't need to foul here. They have plenty of time to see if it runs out on the defensive end. Atlanta needs to stop. Caitlin Clark has not hit a 3 in this game. Stops on the dime, looking to pull up, finds Aaliyah Boston, who gets the bucket to go. Still a 1-possession game.
Atlanta almost gave that one up. Nia Coffey got back in just in time.
Atlanta has time. They can go for a quick 2. We'll see what they elect to do as another, big foul going against Atlanta. Ryan Howard pushes off Sophie Cunningham with a huge defensive stop for the Indiana Fever.
Sophie Cunningham came into this game questionable in this one, and right here she draws the offensive foul on Ryan Howard. And it was a little bit of an acting job, I'm not gonna lie. That was a lot. But you know what, a smart job by Cunningham to try to draw that foul.
Ryan Howard now has 5 fouls, and you do have to foul here because the shot clock is off. So Alicia Gray now with 5, Ryan Howard with 5. Nia Coffey has 1. Caldwell and Hillman on the floor for Atlanta have not fouled in this ball game, and you start to wonder, who do you put at the free throw line? Kelsey Mitchell making her 2nd trip to the free throw line tonight. She split the pair before. She was disappointed in the missed free throws from Tuesday, said, we understand how much work we put in. We have to knock these down. These are huge ones.
She also talked about having those super low lulls. She talked about giving themselves grace, her team, and said that we're going to have some low points, but they can't be that low and that flat, just talking about the starts that they had to both halves. And they kind of started the same in this game, but they dug themselves out quicker.
Tahina Pow checks in for Atlanta, so you know, as they call their final or the reset timeout for Atlanta. So they'll have a couple of substitutions that will come in. Tahina Pow checks in. And we'll have Sydney Colson take a seat. Lexi Hole in the game.
A lot can happen in 21 seconds, Angel. But the Dream definitely need a quick score here.
Who do they go to? Gray gets it up top. Sophie Cunningham swipes in for the rebound, and Atlanta just letting her go all the way up the floor. There was 11 seconds left on the game clock when Sophie Cunningham got the ball, and there was confusion for Atlanta if they should foul or not.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was talked about in the huddle previously, but if you're Atlanta, you've got to stop the clock and foul, and I think a couple of them tried to, but it just wasn't aggressive enough. And the fans in the building who've been on their feet for the last minute are starting to head towards the exits.
Atlanta led by 9, Indiana led by 8. It went back and forth in this ball game. They both split, owning each quarter. Atlanta won the first. And are winning right now, or won the third as well. But when you're looking at how Indiana came alive, you have to really tip your hat to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham was huge for them off the bench in her first game back this season.
You mentioned the bench production. They just came in and held it down, and they didn't get rattled or frazzled. They said they wanted redemption this game, and they've done just that. Still 5.5 seconds left. I've seen a lot of crazy things happen if you're Atlanta, so you don't want to give up. You want to finish this game the right way.
So I've been watching the NBA playoffs, and for me to see a couple of crazy things in that Knicks game and Pacers game, I'm just going to wait until the buzzer sounds. Ryan Howard looking for someone on the inbounds, finds Gray. Gray is short on the 3, and Kelsey Mitchell comes out of the pack with the rock as the clock hits 0, and the get back has been completed for the Indiana Fever that have currently split with Atlanta. Atlanta and Indiana will see each other 2 more times this season, as Atlanta will drop to 1-2, and Indiana will move on as 2-1.
Both of these teams, it's going to be a juggernaut the next 2 times they see each other. And I'm excited to be here for the call. Both coaches cleaned up some things that they wanted to clean up. And both teams corralled around each other.
So for Atlanta, they will see the Dallas Wings this week. That'll be on Saturday. They have a back-to-back on Sunday.